I put a video up the other day called Shtf, Let's Talk About Sex. And some of the comments have given me things to think about, things to ponder. And I'd like to talk about those right after the intro. Life and death after a without rule of law situation, a long-term SHTF situation occurs. Mindsets. I talk about mindsets a lot because in general they are the most important thing you can have in any situation, whether it be a day-to-day or an SHTF WROL situation. The way you perceive things and the way you think about things will make all the difference between life and death in a lot of those situations. The way we handle a situation has a lot to do with our upbringing, our ethical background, and our moral compass. And in a SHTF WROL situation, that is a long-term one that has been going on and has no sign of ending, we may find that the way we make decisions and the decisions we make will change, and our perceptions of what is correct and what is wrong may also change. There may be things that we are diametrically opposed to now that we may have to turn a blind eye to in those types of situations. For example, the difference between looting and scavenging after an SHTF event. I've found it interesting that with talking to a lot of other preppers and survivalists, when they discuss themselves going into a abandoned business or abandoned home to look for supplies, it's called scavenging. But if it's a person that is not inside their group, then it's considered looting. Another example is if for some reason their bug out location is overtaken, burnt down, or something happens that destroys their preps, if they go out looking for a fresh start, it's called resettlement. But if someone else is doing it outside their group, they're the golden horde and thus bad. It's all in the perception. I firmly believe that if there's an SHTF event, that the people who are driven from their homes who are non-preppers do not consider themselves marauders or do not consider themselves to be the golden horde as they're called. You will hear me in a lot of my videos talk about the gray area of thought processes. There are things and ways in which we were all brought up, ways that have been set before us as this is right, this is wrong, we should stand for this and we shouldn't stand for that. And for the most part, they're generally good. But in my opinion, I believe that in an SHTF situation, that many of these things are going to be far more detrimental to us and become character flaws. Your ability to set the rules and the laws ends at your front door at an SHTF event, and then it becomes someone else's world. If you have a mag group and you're at a retreat location, the rules that you guys have set up end at the base of your retreat. The rest of the world does as the rest of the world will. And by trying to force your rules on those outside of your group, I think you draw a lot of danger and a lot of attention that you just really don't want. I had a viewer that watched my video called SHTF, Let's Talk About Sex, and was quite upset that I had the audacity to talk about human trafficking and slavery for the purpose of sexual gratification and other things after an SHTF event. Well, I discussed this matter intentionally because people do not talk about it, and I believe that it will be something that happens in a long-term SHTF event. Eventually it will happen. It's just the nature of humanity. If we look back through history, any horrible or terrible thing that can be done, we as mankind have done it. And that's why we have laws in place now. And in an SHTF event that has become a WROL, without rule of law, when there is no one to stem that tide, when there is no government, no police, no one's coming to help, then the worst of mankind will come out. And yes, there will be a lot of very good people who survive through this event. And there will be a lot of people who will stand for what is right. My entire intent with my videos is to get people to think in that gray mindset thought pattern, so those people can make prudent decisions, not necessarily the jerk reaction to something that genetically is wrong, feels wrong to them, something that is ingrained in their psyche that is right or wrong from before the SHTF event. Because all it will do, in my opinion, is cause unwanted attention to you, your group, and your party. And by making these videos, I simply want to try to make people think and think about it and practice things now that will be a second nature to them if these situations ever occur.